The Wanfu industry is a medium-sized hidden planet under the control of the Kyushu Federation. There are 7 huge central city bases, all of which serve as the human race's foundations in the hidden realm of the spider's nest. Balan City is one of the 7 major central cities. The pricing of the land indicates that it includes 1 inch of land and 1 inch of gold. But there is a private mansion in the middle of those geographical borders, surrounded by mountains and rivers. This is the fortress of the capital. A magnificent beast was swimming about in the pond. A man had just finished having a shower, wiped his face with a towel, and glanced in the mirror, happy despite the fact that he hadn't seen himself in more than 10 years. He began to murmur. Although he has seen it for 15 years, he has to say that his appearance in this life seems to be too handsome. Bai Xiaoan is the youthful ruler of Bayan City. He is, as you can see, a time traveler. He was a soldier who died on a mission in his previous life, and he subsequently passed into this realm, which is full of spirit creatures and imperialists. But he's not some kind of time traveler. Except for his recollections of his previous existence, it's more like reincarnation. He had nothing in common with the Aborigines. The protagonist heard gurgling water in the distance, and glanced behind him to see what it was. This was the red-eyed silver-gold class, and the spirit fish emerged in front of the protagonist with a smile on its face. And when the spirit fish instructed him to go eat breakfast, Bai Xian smiled and told the beast that he had promised his father that he would come down after washing and cleaning up. The spirit beast departed, warning him not to keep everyone waiting for too long. The protagonist waved to the spirit beast with a kind smile. Although the red-eyed silver-striped fish is not especially enormous, it is a gold-level pet beast and a powerful one, and it is his father's natal spiritual pet, and who is also the strong man in this world. When he walked down from upstairs, he glanced at his family, who were preparing to eat, and both his mother and sister smiled at him. The person with the spectacles, who is his father, told him that he was too slow to get here and that what he needed was speed. His father warned him sternly that he would only have 5 seconds to wash the next day. Bai Xiaoan responded, "All right." He then inquired about his grandfather's visit. His grandpa responded, saying he had come to make a statement of thanks and encouragement to the kids at the awakening event as the Lord of Balan City and as a former pupil. The grandpa informed his grandson that he was this year's examinee and that he would be present at the awakening ceremony today. He went on to express how lovely it would be if he and Bai Xiaoan went to the awakening hall together later. Bai Xiaoan petted his sister's head as his grandpa spoke, and her sister gazed at him boredly. Bai Xiaoan smiled, agreeing with his grandpa. The full name of the awakening ceremony is the Kyushu Federation's yearly awaken ritual of familiar beast talent. Every year around this time, the Federation organizes an awakening celebration to assist each young person in awakening. Awakening successfully will enable the individual to go Imperial College and study about beast masters, and there was a female with her beast, and they did a fist pump. If this kid does not awaken, he will be forced to attend a regular school. When the youngster heard it, he sobbed, terrified that he would fail and be denied admission to this school. Bai Xiaoan thought to himself that it was an important period in his life, similar to the college entrance test in his former life, since he knew that the future was brighter and that he could easily transfer classes and become a master. He also understands that if he fails the test, he has nothing to lose, just being an average guy for the rest of his life would suffice. Bai Xiaoan didn't see his sister staring at him with concern. She wondered whether he was aware that his expression was really odd right now. He smiled and figured those were just soothing fibs. Welcome to the world of the fourth Xing. If someone doesn't have Zheng's talent, no matter how powerful they or their family may be, they will underestimate that person. Your ability to control beasts determines your status in this world. Even without the ability to control beasts, not even the ants will bother talking to someone who lacks that skill. Bai Xiaoan used to worry about whether the god of reincarnation would play a joke on him and forget to give him any special abilities in his next life. With his power, wealth, and good looks, He was certain he would make a perfect villain in a hot-blooded boy comic. With a smug smile, he thought to himself how the protagonist had delivered a satisfying blow to his handsome face. He couldn't help but imagine the countless flower girls silently shedding tears of heartbreak. He confidently raised his hand. With a smirk on his face, thankful that a month ago, he discovered his innate talent for imperial beasts. And he said with a smile, "It's pretty cool." Institution, with its A-level spiritual talent, possesses an incredible fighting intuition. It has the potential to earn special promotions and has the unique ability to sense the presence of countless spirit beasts. This is a top-notch beast. Familiar skill, and the information provided is quite diverse. He smiled, fully aware that both institutions and individuals have the power to choose between good and evil in the midst of a battle. It's pretty cool how it can communicate with spirit beasts, which comes in handy when fighting and subduing them. As he was lost in thought, he failed to notice his grandfather's gaze upon him. The main character sipped on his tea and thought to himself that morning routines don't really have much of an impact on him, so he's feeling pretty content. The old man squinted, thinking to himself that having A-level spiritual talent is quite impressive, and it won't be a walk in the park for Xiaoan to awaken on his own. Xiaoan is a real prodigy that all the prominent families are competing to nurture, even in this original world. The old man thought that maybe his grandson would be able to do what he couldn't in the future. The old man squinted his eyes even more, still convinced that Xiaoan was too young and didn't have the right personality. If he happened to go there, he could end up getting devoured by those monsters. If he wants to maintain his suitability, he has to be tempted. Honestly, Bai Jingchong wouldn't have allowed Xiaoan to attend the awakening ceremony if it wasn't necessary. The main reason is to activate the dormant power of the God Stone. The old guy called out to Xiaoan. The main character glanced at him, curious about his intentions. His grandfather gave him a stern warning about the importance of the ritual of awakening. He mentioned that the awakening God Stone used by the Kyushu Federation is a unique and highly valuable treasure, with only one piece in the entire Federation. He went on to explain that the awakening stone has a pretty unique origin. In the early days of this new era, the beast emerged and brought immense peril to their world. The people faced grave danger, with countless lives lost to the monstrous creatures that roamed the land. It was all because the ancient humans stumbled upon this mysterious awakening God Stone that allowed the initial wave of the Imperial Beast Division to awaken their talents. There are a bunch of people gathered around this awakening God Stone. And so, humans managed to survive, marking the beginning of an era where they took control over the beasts. A bunch of people back in the day were out there, armed with all sorts of weapons, battling it out with some pretty rough and ugly monsters. This special awakening stone is considered the foundation of the imperial civilization of their Kyushu Federation. The old man kept on explaining, holding up 3 fingers as he told him about the 3 stages that newcomers must go through to become a beast master: awakening the talent of the royal family, creating space for the royal beast, and forming a pet contract. There are also followers from aristocratic families or special sects, as well as some exceptionally talented individuals who awakened early. But they let their kid go to the yearly awakening anyway. His grandpa mentioned that the whole point is to get the awakening power of the awakening God Stone, set up the beast defense space ahead of time, and save some time. Bai Xiaoan wonders if doing this would raise any objections from the Kyushu Federation. His father and grandfather didn't say a word, and the atmosphere in the room grew tense. Out of nowhere, the old man burst into laughter and mentioned that the Kyushu Federation was aware of the situation but simply didn't give a damn. The old guy got up and mentioned that if they took part in the awakening ceremony and managed to awaken the newbies to the beast defense talent, they had to get their beast defense talent registered. The grandfather crossed his arms and mentioned that it's easier for the Kyushu Federation to handle the money management of the Imperial Beast Division after registering. He also pointed out that there's no point in wasting a bit of awakening energy. The protagonist simply listened attentively. Jing Chung gave his grandson a reassuring pat on the shoulder, assuring him that the awakening stone's power of awakening is actually a positive thing. That will greatly benefit him. Xiaoan replied to his grandfather, assuring him that he understood the importance of the awakening ceremony and would approach it with utmost sincerity. The main character got up and realized that in the past, he was only focused on learning about beasts and developing their talents, but he didn't know much about the awakening god stone. He muttered to himself, "There's only one awakening god stone, but it can awaken countless middle school students in the Kyushu Federation." His dad just glanced at him when Xiaoan was muttering to himself, and Xiaoan let out a sigh and mentioned how incredible this divine power truly is. Bai Xiaoan's dad, Qingji, raised his hand and slammed it on the desk. He told Bai Xiaoan in a serious manner that it's crucial for a guy to truly commit to the awakening ceremony and create a space for animals. Bai Xiaoan nodded in agreement, feeling a bit awkward, and decided to change the subject. He then proceeded to have his breakfast, while his sister chuckled at him. His wife was upset, and he gave him a serious look, asking why he was so intense. Xiaoan's father glanced away, feeling a bit scared, but he explained that he was just trying to emphasize that he didn't mean to. The mother, sister, and the old man all had a good laugh, while Xiaoan's father and Bai Xiaoan couldn't help but smile awkwardly. Xiaoan said goodbye to his parents and headed to the awakening hall alongside his grandfather. The driver let Jing Cheng and his grandson know that they had reached the awakening square. The main character hopped out of the car, but just as he was about to head out, Jing Cheng told his grandson to make a stop at the awakening hall first. He mentioned to his grandson that he was getting ready for the speech. Xiaoan glanced up and noticed several school principals leading their middle school students towards the awakening square. The staff had organized everything, ensuring that the students were ready to participate in the awakening ceremony in a well-organized manner. So there was this girl, she's got a megaphone, and she's like, "Hey, all you folks from Belan City College, come gather over here." Out of nowhere, she froze in disbelief when she spotted the protagonist. All eyes turned to her, curious to know the reason behind her sudden halt. She gasped in astonishment to see Xiaoan, and the other girls were similarly awestruck. Xiaoan's classmate approached him with a broad smile on her face and remarked that it had been quite some time since their last encounter. The young master was also greeted by the girl in charge of the megaphone. Since he hadn't attended class in a month, according to another student with orange hair, he must have been extremely occupied preparing for today. Someone else remarked that it had been a month since they last saw each other, and that he had regained his attractive appearance. Bai Xiaoan concluded that the affiliated Bayan City College is the most technologically advanced institution in the city. The majority of the pupils engaged in conversation. They were descendants of the generals of Belan City and the children of various dignitaries. Sure, being the grandson of the lord of the city definitely puts him at the top. A bunch of girls were just smiling, doing their thing, and the protagonist kept on smiling, too. A plump figure, resembling a ball, separated itself from the crowd and approached Bai Xiaoan. He rushed over to embrace him with a big hug. Xiaoan immediately recognized him, his face filled with surprise. He quickly sidestepped the person who was about to embrace him. The guy, who had put on a few pounds, glanced at him with tears welling up in his eyes. He expressed to his brother how it had been a whole month since they last saw each other, and how much he had been longing for his company. This guy is Bai Xiaoan's younger brother. He grew up with Bai Xiaoan thanks to his elders, and they have a great relationship. Xiaoan was irritated and asked the guy to stop talking to him in such a grouchy manner. He mentioned that people who weren't familiar with him might assume they were having a romantic relationship. His friend was totally taken aback, asking him how on earth he could say something like that. Xiaoan turned around and told Fatty Yuan that he couldn't believe how domineering his name was. Fatty Yuan was just sitting there, quietly shedding tears. As a kid, Xiaoan used to think that Yuan Patian would be the hero. But as time went on, Bai Xiaoan stopped thinking about it, and just observed how Fatty Yuan's body was getting rounder. He keeps pondering how difficult it is to reflect on the past, youth is gone forever, he thought. Bai Xian, you didn't come to school for a month, I thought you were scared, said a girl wearing red lipstick. She remarked mockingly. Everyone turned their attention to the girl, causing a few gasps of surprise from some of the onlookers. They couldn't believe she had the audacity to speak to Bai Xian in such a manner. She had a smug expression as she informed the main character that if he just admitted defeat, she would let him go and end their bet. This is Feng Qianyu, the daughter of Feng Yangyan, the vice principal of Belan Castle. The main character recalled how she had suggested making a bet. The winner of the awakening ceremony would be determined by their talent, and whoever loses has to do something for the winner. Xian told her that the bet was made by her, and he mentioned that he's still quite arrogant and cautious about not getting punched in the face, so she shouldn't be surprised if she loses. With a bunch of students around, she approached Xian and gave him a proud look. Bai Xian teased her, calling her Little Phoenix. He assured her that the bet was still on and eagerly anticipated the moment when she would fulfill her promise after losing. Xian gave a smug smile, reassuring her not to worry about losing. The main character's confidence stems from the fact that he has a 90% chance of winning this bet. After all, talents above A level are quite rare in the entire Kyushu Federation. Well, you won't believe it, but there's a whole secret world hiding under the umbrella of the Kyushu Federation, the Spider's Nest. It's pretty fascinating, to be honest. Feng Qianyu was really angry when she told Bai Xian that he would be the one crying. She got really mad and told him not to call her Little Phoenix. She said seriously that eventually she would make him bow and kneel for her. Yuan, his buddy, leaned in and quietly warned him to watch out because Feng Qianyu was ready this time. He kept on saying that his dad mentioned how the Feng family got their hands on some cool treasure recently that could help unlock their talents. Xian and Feng Qianyu were both standing in line, and the main character couldn't help but smirk, realizing the reason behind Feng Qianyu's confidence. Bai Xian mentioned that the Feng family has a unique background and deep roots. They have some special methods, but it's no big deal. So, it's not really important. He was pretty confident that Feng Qianyu wouldn't give him any trouble since he didn't sense anything strange from her. Xian's grandfather addressed the students, introducing himself as Jing Cheng, the Lord of Belan City. He began his speech by acknowledging that the awakening ceremony marked a fresh beginning in their lives. The students listened intently to his words. The old man was giving a speech to cheer on the middle school students. He expressed his honor in meeting young children who are full of energy and boundless potential for the future. He mentioned that the awakening ritual is just a part of life, not the final chapter. Whether they awaken or not, they should just go about their day and put an effort towards their life. As soon as City Lord Bai Jingchong made his grand entrance, the atmosphere in the awakening square instantly heated up. High school students couldn't help but gaze at him with utmost admiration. The elderly gentleman continued expressing his hope that all the kids can awaken successfully. After some time, Jing Chung wrapped up his speech, and the awakening ceremony finally kicked off. A staff member called out for all the candidates to enter the awakening hall in groups. In the hall, a staff member told them to find a spot, sit cross-legged, and start to awaken their talents. A weird green-colored divine stone phantom was hanging above the awakening hall, producing a bright green light that covered the whole awakening hall. Xiaoan reasoned that after the Kyushu Federation activated the awakening god stone, it would employ the space projection technique. They direct the stone's power to the awakening halls in diverse places. The protagonist believed to himself that it was a miraculous occurrence. After that, he didn't waste any more time. He quickly found his spot, sat comfortably, started soaking in the vibrant energy, and got ready to create a protective space for his beasts. But right now, it seems like Xian has gone through some changes. Bai Xian's body was buzzing with newfound energy, causing a riot within. His limbs were buzzing with an incredible surge of energy, crashing together like a wild horse in full gallop. Out of nowhere, He let out a yelp of agony when his eyes started glowing a vibrant shade of blue. So, the whole thing was that the energy just went completely out of control. Bai Xian was a bit confused, unsure of why this sudden change had happened. It's pretty scary how this uncontrollable surge of energy started heading straight for his mind. As a result, his face went through a major change. He let out a loud cry of agony. The protagonist touched his head, recalling how crucial the brain is for us humans. If his brain gets messed up by that awakening energy, he could end up losing his mind. It was a pretty scary thought, and he realized the risks involved. Without wasting any time, he made up his mind to snap out of the awakened state. He had a change of heart, and figured maybe this wasn't such a bad thing after all, but actually a great opportunity. He began to relax as things seemed pretty simple. Once he was calm, he didn't stop the energy from flowing into his mind and allowing it to change him. Bai Xian was convinced, and suddenly, an incredible surge of awakening energy flooded Bai Xian's mind. It wasn't just a tiny quantity of energy. It was a massive amount of energy that made the main characters scream in agony. At the same time, Bai Xian's awakening skills seemed to have started to alter under the effect of awakening energy. His talent was experiencing a unique transformation. Everyone could see a lot amount of energy streaming out of Xian's body, so the staff member questioned another staff member whether they were witnessing this. Bai Xian skillfully absorbed the awakening energy surrounding him, causing a powerful energy vortex to manifest in his vicinity. A phantom of a peculiar blue eye steadily developed while he was receiving the energy. As a result, the examiners in the examination room were instantly alerted by this remarkable talent vision. One of them questioned who the examinee person was, and the answer was Xian, the lord of the city's grandson. The person in the center shouted, "What?" as he was stunned. The eye was still developing. The same person urged another staff member to hurry up and alert the city lord and Mr. Wu since they couldn't bear the penalties if anything happened to Bai Xian. The examiner was panting, clearly exhausted. The guy on the right is Xian's grandpa Jing Cheng, and the dude on the left is Wu Xinghan, the one in charge of the exam room. Jing Cheng just wanted to double-check if what he said was true. He asked again what happened and why he mentioned a problem with Xian's awakening. He told the old man there's a vision that appeared above the examinee Bai's head. Xian's grandfather was curious about the talent vision. How is this possible? Xian has clearly tapped into the innate abilities of the beast. Is it possible that Xian's talent has evolved to reach S-rank status? He pondered. This is a positive development. The old man pondered silently. And no one is aware of the situation, except for Xian's grandfather. The eye was simply gazing down at its owner. So, when Jing Cheng saw Bai Xian's talent, he was blown away. It turned out to be the talent vision. Only individuals with exceptional talent at the S level or higher were able to witness the manifestation of a unique phantom as a tribute to his legacy. He wondered how this could be possible and pondered if Xian had unlocked the talent of beast control. Out of nowhere, Jing Cheng's eyes widened in astonishment. He wondered if Xian's intuition talent had undergone a remarkable mutation and reached an extraordinary level. The old man understands that within the realm of majestic beasts, there exist occasional compendiums of preservation law. As individuals in this world, humans have the inherent potential for mutation. The transformation of humans is a different expression of the ability possessed by the imperial beast. Throughout the course of human history, there have been only a few individuals who possessed exceptional talents in controlling and guarding beasts. And those individuals whose talents evolved have all become renowned figures of fame throughout history. The elderly gentleman understood the potential risks associated with Xian's extraordinary talent and this sudden awakening. Jing Cheng approached Mr. Wu, requesting permission to enter the Hall of Awakening. He had some concerns and wanted to go to Bai Xian's side in the examination room to find out how he was doing, just to put his mind at ease. Old Wu replied, asking him not to make a fool of himself. He mentioned that it's important for him to be aware that, being the city lord of Belan City, he is not allowed to enter the awakening hall. Old Wu reassured his friend, assuring him not to stress. The Kyushu Federation has a safety net in place, so his grandson will be just fine. He was completely taken aback and exclaimed that young talent is truly unmatched in the world. He expressed to his friend how fortunate he feels to have him. Meanwhile, Bai Xian was just chilling and soaking up some energy. As he was soaking up energy, he suddenly received some information in his mind about three things. In the realm of the divine and the mortal, a surge of energy coursed through him, causing him to cry out in agony. He ended up getting some of that energy on his eyes. So, there was this big explosion right where the main character happened to be. There was dust and debris scattered everywhere after the explosion. People stood around, watching him as he appeared to have finished absorbing energy. As he opened his eyes, he noticed that one of them had a striking resemblance to the eye that had been observing him from above the talent vision. It emitted a mesmerizing blue aura. He wondered what that knowledge was. Xian checked himself out and noticed a subtle blue energy surrounding his body. He couldn't help but sense a significant improvement in his ability to battle beasts. Suddenly, the heavenly revelation of the Eye of Apocalypse popped up. Xian couldn't help but feel a bit startled as he realized it was describing his awakened ability, the Eye of Apocalypse. Curiosity piqued, and he began reading through the description. It mentioned something about mystery being a special power that grants supernatural insight and foresight. He's able to spot the heavenly signs and gather information about things nearby. He was caught off guard and had no idea how to make sense of this incredible ability. Honestly, Bai Xian was aware of the talent in the mystery department. This talent is pretty unique for a beast master. There aren't many beast masters out there who have mysterious talents and possess abilities that are truly unfathomable. But Xian is clueless about the myth level and has never even heard of it. So, there are these 9 levels of talent for beast masters, you know? Here are the rankings F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, SSS. Xian muttered to himself that being an SSS level talent is like being the best of the best in the world of beast masters. Xian was kinda confused because of this methodological talent that no one has ever heard of. And it definitely more talented than SSS. He wondered about his supposed talent. What type of talent is it? As Xian glanced at his classmates, he noticed something interesting. Enhancement talents at the D level have the ability to boost slightly the talents of pets. Speed talent, a talent that enhances the speed of pets at a C level, giving them a slight boost in their movement. Wind spirit talent, enhances the power of wind element pet skills using the power of wind elements. The students who did the awakening ceremony with Xian have pretty much finished their awakening. The students who managed to awaken their talent for beast fighting are all really happy. On the other hand, the students who failed in awakening were feeling down. The vibe in the awakening hall is definitely unique. As he glanced at the student, he noticed a bunch of information floating above their head. He couldn't help but be impressed by the apocalyptic eyes effect. It was pretty mind-blowing, he thought. So, with his ability instructions, this guy's got the eye of the apocalypse. And let me tell you, nothing within a certain range can escape his gaze. He was blown away that when a battle begins, and he can discover the other person's talent as an imperial beast, the impressive abilities of their pet, their strengths and weaknesses, and their lethal killing skills. He had a mischievous grin on his face, and he chuckled with a hint of mischief, fully aware that this would give him endless opportunities to win. After his wild moment, he decided to see what talents those other candidates have discovered. Enhancement talents at the D level can give pets a small boost in their abilities. Speed talent, a talent that enhances the speed of pets at a C level, giving them a slight boost in their movement. He was somewhat impressed by the abundance of grade D and C options, which are actually quite decent. Wind spirit talent. This awesome talent lets you harness the power of wind elements to supercharge your wind element pet skills. Xian glanced behind him and was taken aback to see that they were on par with A levels. He was like, Wow, it looks like they're still geniuses in the second generation. Suddenly it hit him. He thought it would be cool to check out the Awakening Stone. Right now, Bai Xian happened to glance at the Awakening God's Stone projection in the sky, and he was completely taken aback by what he saw. He came across some interesting information. The first piece of information discussed an ancient tree of life, which is believed to possess natural gifts and play a significant role in life transitions. It is also associated with a primary god and has the ability to awaken vitality and plunder spring with dead woods. This tree is known for its unique abilities and is said to aid in the awakening of human talents. However, it requires sufficient nutrients to grow. Xian couldn't believe his eyes when he discovered that the Awakening God's Stone of the Kyushu Federation was not just any ordinary stone but a powerful spiritual beast of legendary status. His eyes widened as he gazed at the projection of the Awakening God's Stone above the Awakening Hall, completely at a loss for words. A staff member spoke loudly, telling everyone to line up and register their awakening level. Everyone lined up, including the main character, and he believed that the Awakening Stone had helped numerous individuals unlock their talents and usher in a prosperous era. The Awakening Stone was also known as the Cornerstone Federation and was actually a powerful beast in disguise. He wondered if the people in charge of the Kyushu Federation know about this. Xian figured that if they were aware, they must be quite knowledgeable about it. But if they weren't, they would have made it clear. Xian keeps pondering how this world treats the seeds of the ancient tree of life like precious treasures. As Xian took another glance at the Awakening Stone, a whole range of skills caught his eye. There were the white ones, the common skills, the green ones, the primary skills, the blue ones, the intermediate skills, the purple ones, the advanced skills, the orange ones, the top skills, and even the golden ones, the god-level skills. Xian was feeling a bit concerned. The thing is, if this double talent, a super impressive golden god-level skill, and a bunch of orange high-level skills get awakened, there could be some serious risks involved. Well, you see, the ancient tree of life has this knack for siphoning off vitality. And let me tell you, if it ever gets used, it's bound to create quite the mess. The seed of the ancient tree of life is filled with the potential for growth and vitality. However, without the necessary divine substances and nutrients, the seed remains in a dormant state. Xian is feeling quite concerned at the moment, as he knows that this situation will undoubtedly have a significant impact on Kyushu. The examiner glanced over the student's information and quietly noted that he was Zhu Ling, a student from Beiling City College's Awakening Talent D-Level Intensive Department. The main character glanced at the stone once more and had a sudden realization that the world of beasts was far more complex than he had initially believed. The examiner asked Xian to place his hand on the tester. He placed his hand on the tester, deciding to let it go. It was best not to dwell on things that were out of his grasp. He thought that once he became strong enough, he would naturally uncover the secrets of the world of beasts. The examiner casually clicked a few buttons, doing who knows what. The examiner began the test, and as he waited, Xiaoan pondered quietly. He realized that while he didn't want to cause a scene, he had no other option but to embrace his genius and astound everyone. He grinned confidently and kept pondering. Humans better bow down. Submit to my mystical abilities, he mused. The examiner delivered Xiaoan his information, adding, Bai Xian, affiliated with Belan City No. 1 Middle School, Class 1 of the 3rd grade, awakened talent, beyond the A level, to be related to the A-level spiritual talent. Xian was shocked and confused to discover that he had an A-level skill, because he believed he had an S-level talent. There was this mechanical sound coming from the appraisal machine, and the computer just straight up told the examiner that it couldn't identify the level. Needless to say, everyone in the room was pretty stunned. The examiner seemed a bit embarrassed for a moment but quickly took action to resolve the issue. I was amazed at how fast he started typing on the keyboard. It was like a blur. Before long, Wu Xinghan, the person in charge of the examination room, showed up. He mentioned that the identification machine can only recognize the talent of beasts below S rank. He also mentioned that it had been a while since Belan City had seen an S-level talent, so naturally, the computer wouldn't be aware of it. Wu Xinghan pointed out that when someone awakens, they develop a special kind of vision that indicates they have an exceptional talent. This talent is considered to be at an S level, and it is closely connected to the A-level talent known as intuition. Therefore, it can be classified as an S-level talent called super intuition. After finishing up with Xian's information, he left, casting a quick glance at the main character and flashing a smile. Under his breath, he mentioned how rare S-level talents are in their world, predicting a bright future for this child. Xian was totally taken aback, staring at his hand in complete disbelief and unable to find any words. The examiner began reading Xian's new information, which included being affiliated with Belan City College, being in Class 1, having an awakening talent, possessing an S-class spiritual talent, and having a super straight sense. A lot of students were shocked when they heard the examiner say that Xian had awakened an S-level talent. Xian was the center of attention as his classmates gathered around, their faces filled with shock. They all congratulated Bai Xian for awakening the S-level talent. And then this other student goes, "Dude, you're gonna have such a bright future." And then another one chimes in, saying how Bai Xian's grandpa is this diamond-level beast master, and he also awakened an S-level talent. Xian found himself in a bit of a bind when it came to dealing with his classmates, who seemed to have some misconceptions about his extraordinary talent. It was quite frustrating for him. "So, this guy in his class, right? He's got this big old grin on his face, and he's like, 'Hey, buddy, once you're all big and strong, don't forget about us, your old classmates.'" The girl smiled, telling him that when she first met him, she could tell him he was something special. She also mentioned that she recognized his exceptional skills and strong leadership abilities. Just as the students were about to continue their conversation, the examiner abruptly interjected, reminding them to quickly line up if they didn't want to take the test. The next group of students would be arriving shortly. Xian let out a sigh as he couldn't handle their sudden burst of enthusiasm. As he strolled out of the hall, he felt relieved that his incredible talent hadn't been exposed in the evolution machine. By the way, this machine is a pretty nifty test instrument in Kyushu. Loads of test takers have never failed to give it a go. As he was strolling along, he didn't even realize that someone was waiting for him. And that person was his grandfather. He asked how his grandson feels about his talent mutation and if there's anything weird going on. Bai was taken aback when he spotted his grandfather, and he inquired about how he had ended up here. Xian responded to his grandfather's inquiry saying, "I'm doing fine. But I regret not using this chance to create a habitat for majestic beasts." He glanced downwards, feeling disappointed in himself. Xian's grandfather gently placed a hand on his grandson's shoulder, attempting to offer some solace. Initially, his main intention for participating in the awakening ceremony was to utilize the power of the ancient tree of life seeds, not to mention the awakening god stone, in order to construct his own space for taming beasts. However, to his surprise, his innate ability to control beasts had undergone a mutation, leaving him with no opportunity to create the beast-controlling space he had planned. The main character was starting to feel down. The old man smiled warmly at his grandson, assuring him that there was no need to apologize for the shift in talent from A to S. It wasn't a big deal at all. Jing Chung mentioned that he'll be able to create a royal beast space in no time, thanks to the resources available at the main palace in the city. During that time, Bai Xian didn't just leave right away. Instead, he stuck around Jing Chung, getting to know and learn about the abilities of his Eye of Apocalypse talent. As he strolled along behind his grandfather, it dawned on him that he couldn't even spill the beans about his extraordinary talent to his family. Gotta be more cautious from now on, he mused to himself. He thought it would be fun to play around with the features of the apocalyptic eye. He spotted this creature that kinda resembled a dog but had a spiritual vibe going on. While reading about the spiritual beast, he discovered that their strength in perceiving enemy intelligence knows no bounds. The dog seemed puzzled, wondering why he was being stared at. This particular dog happened to be the fiery red kind. After Xian glanced away from the dog, the poor pup seemed utterly bewildered. In the middle of the circle, with a radius of 10 meters, nothing can escape his keen gaze. As he glanced around, he noticed the details of several students. For instance, there was a girl with red hair who had black ice-cracked jade and another girl who possessed a 7-treasure glazed pith stone. Xian chuckled with a mischievous glint in his eyes, fully aware that as his strength grew, the investigation would naturally broaden its horizons. He casually touched his chin, closed his eyes, and pondered the idea that the scope of exploration could potentially encompass the entire world. He smiled mischievously, fully aware that with that kind of power, he would become all-knowing. But then, right where Xian was sitting, a massive fire explosion occurred. And in that very moment, a powerful phoenix cry echoed through the Hall of Awakening. A phoenix soared into the sky, its fiery form captivating the birds and spirit beasts near the Awakening Hall. They huddled on the ground, trembling in the presence of this awe-inspiring creature. A staff member quickly grabbed his two-way radio to inform the rest of the team. At one point, the birds and spirit beasts near the Awakening Hall were all huddled on the ground, trembling, as if they sensed a fearsome presence, like the fire-red dog. Xian glanced up, surprised to see a phoenix. He wondered about it, but before he could even make a guess, he overheard his grandfather murmuring about the sound of the fire shaped like a phoenix. Jing Cheng's eyes narrowed as if he had a hunch, and he mentioned that it's quite a talent to have. This new generation of the Feng family seems to be quite impressive, he remarked. Basically, Feng Qianyu has awakened her exceptional talent for battling beasts. Bai Xian mentioned to his grandfather that he wanted to check out the new imperial talent. Bai Xian felt a bit annoyed because he had hoped to show off and see her reaction, but it turned out they both had exceptional abilities. If Xian revealed his true situation, he would surely win the bet. However, he didn't want to expose his extraordinary talent just to win a bet. Xian wasn't willing to do something so foolish. He turned around and told his grandfather that since there's nothing to see, he'd head home first. Jing Cheng glanced over at his grandson and instructed him to bring Angela and Pony along. The old man told him that now that he has awakened this crazy talent of his, there are gonna be people who try to mess with him. So, from now on, he gotta stick with his bodyguards and never go solo. As Xian stepped outside, he noticed two twins staring right at him. And the first person who had a friendly smile and captivating purple eyes. She introduced herself as Angelica, the Golden Beast Master. The other person, with blue eyes that seemed to lack any emotion, introduced herself as Bai Ji, the Beast Master at the Golden level. Xian raised an eyebrow, thinking to himself that it seemed grandfather had already sorted everything out. After a while, Xian's grandfather handed him a peculiar key. So, here's the deal. Once he's back, he's gotta use these things inside to create a super cool royal beast space. It's like the key to unlocking a treasure trove, you know? Xian was completely amazed as he stared at the key. He expressed his gratitude to his grandfather before saying goodbye and heading back to the city lord's mansion with the guards. So, let's dive into a more detailed explanation of the treasure trove. It's got this incredible power, you know, the crystal wall. And let me tell you, it's a total game changer for the growth of the Imperial Beast space. Typically, only the Beast Master has the privilege of utilizing the spiritual crystal to achieve a breakthrough in the Beast Master space. So, a regular spiritual crystal will cost you a minimum of 1 million Kyushu coins. Yeah, it's pretty valuable, no doubt. When he got back to the city lord's mansion, there were only a few servants around, no one else in sight. Bai Xian's parents both have jobs, and they've decided to send his younger sister back to school. This actually makes things a bit easier for Xian. So, Bai Xian didn't really say anything and just headed straight to the basement of the villa using the elevator. Xian asked Angela and Pony to wait outside and not be bothered by anyone. They both agreed. Later on, Xian decided to use the key his grandfather had given him to unlock the treasure house. He confidently opened the door and ventured inside all by himself. So Xian stumbled upon a bunch of cool stuff. He was impressed as this was the place where the Bai family had been hoarding their stuff for centuries. Only the family members can get in here. And let me tell you, the treasures in there are like nothing you've ever seen before. He held the heart of the phantom spider in his hand, examining it closely. He went on to explain that this particular heart, which had surfaced at an auction 5 years ago, had sparked conflicts among different families. A screen popped up, indicating that he was utilizing his awakened talent, and it revealed that the heart was the nucleus of the phantom spider. Xian mentioned that, ultimately, it had been sold at a hefty price of 150 million. Before long, Bai Xian stumbled upon a line of metal containers. Just half a meter ahead, a whole bunch of Lingbai crystals caught his eye. The clue of the Eye of Apocalypse flashed in Bai Xian's mind. Bai Xian opened the first iron box and was greeted by pieces of hexagonal jade, emitting a soft white light. These were the exact Lingbai crystals that Bai Xian was looking for. The box was worth around $300, which, when converted into Kyushu coins, would amount to a whopping 300 million. As he checked out the jade, he quickly realized that there were over a dozen identical iron boxes in the vicinity. He had a big grin on his face, fully aware of his wealth. Once he finished opening all the iron boxes, he quietly mused to himself about the connection between the power of the Imperial space and the owner's Imperial talent. He mentioned that a Beastmaster with a low talent level only requires one spiritual crystal to create a beast space. Xian glanced at the iron boxes and thought to himself that as an S-level talent Beastmaster, he would probably need around 200 or 300 crystals to construct a beast defense space. Satisfied with this estimate, Bai Xian prepared to begin building the beast-defying space. Right now, the heavenly revelation of the Eye of Apocalypse showed up once more, and his eyes were shining with a blue glow, almost as if he was ready for a fight. So, it gave him 3 options. The first option is the construction method of the beast fighting space, ordinary mythical level beast fighting space. It costs 333 spiritual crystals, and the detailed construction method is as follows. Another way to construct the beast-defying space is by enhancing the mythical level beast-defending space. This method requires 666 spiritual crystals. Here are the step-by-step instructions for the construction process. The third way to construct the beast-defying space is through the perfect mythical beast-defying space. It requires 999 pieces of spiritual crystal. Here is the detailed construction method. In front of Bai Xian came a peculiar entrance. There is still the enlightenment of heaven in research on the construction of the Imperial Beast space. Bai Xian was taken aback when he saw this. But suddenly, Bai Xian's face lit up with uncontainable excitement. He stumbled upon a whole new use for the Eye of Apocalypse talent by pure chance. He had some doubts in his mind, and suddenly, he found the answers he needed to clear up his confusion. This ability is just way more exaggerated than a specific encyclopedia. So, if he ever comes across any issues down the line, he'll be able to sort them out. Imagine this, if he comes across a question he can't grasp during the exam, he can just tap into some divine inspiration and get the answer straight away. He was really looking forward to it. No doubt about it, his talent for Eye of Apocalypse is quite intriguing, with numerous effects that he needs to explore at his own pace. He thought it would be cool to start with the Imperial space. The main character found a great alternative to build the creature's habitat. There are plenty of resources available since he doesn't provide any additional information. He's got his grandfather's Diamond Beast Master and a City Master at the main city level, so he's got plenty of resources to work with. Once all the preparations were done, Bai Xian got to work on building a flawless space that could withstand mythical beasts. Using a method inspired by the Tao of Heaven, he went with the one that cost 999 spiritual crystals. Xian's dad had a big smile on his face as he mentioned how everyone was buzzing about Xian's newly discovered S-level talent. It seems like even the important people are on the lookout for talented youngsters like Xian. A lot of people want to reach out to him ASAP. His dad and his spouse simply listened to him. The little girl was totally captivated by the butterfly, completely amazed by its beauty. His wife spoke, saying that yesterday, Mr. Feng also asked if Xiaoan had plans. She chuckled, knowing exactly what Feng was up to. She had a little smile on her face and mentioned how Xian had grown up to be a big boy in no time. Xiaoan's dad was getting a bit concerned, so he let him know that he had been holed up in the treasure trove for a whole week. He wanted to know if he was alright. The elderly man sipped his tea and advised his son to relax, while the young girl happily played with a butterfly. The grandpa said that Xian's got a super rare talent at an S level. Building the Imperial space naturally requires more energy and time compared to other projects. All of a sudden, the old man's eyes widened when he detected a scent. He stood up and exclaimed loudly that Xian's space contraction was complete. Xian's parents were taken aback when they heard this. Returning to our main character, wow, can you believe it? A whole week has already zoomed past us. Bai Zian was cooped up in the room for an entire week, like a hermit in hiding. A burst of vibrant blue energy flowed out from the crystals and seamlessly merged with his being. So, Bai Xian finally managed to refine the last piece of spiritual crystal. When Xian managed to refine the 999th spiritual crystal, a cool blue energy began to form his majestic realm. Somehow, this energy began to bring forth grass, rocks, and even a river. Xian simply floated there as his royal space was being created. A lovely pond was even made. After it was finished, the protagonist slowly opened his eyes. Xiaoan was pretty impressed that he finally managed to successfully construct the perfect level of the mythical beast controlling space. He was so excited and couldn't help but shout out how incredible it was. Bai Xiaoan could sense his spiritual power surging, as if he had undergone a transformation. In addition, he's a bit taller, which gives him a more imposing appearance. Hey, he just wanted to share some exciting news with you all. The Imperial Beast space has been successfully constructed. Woohoo! He could sense a unique place emerging within his soul. This place is like a massive island, with a sky that's so blue and clouds that are so white. It's got mountains and rivers, and let me tell you, it's absolutely stunning. Welcome to Bai Xian's beast guarding space. At that moment, the Eye of Apocalypse appeared, and he started to read through it. The mythical Imperial Beast space, perfect level. It's got some cool features like speeding up pet growth, getting rid of pet negatives, and even unlocking hidden talents in pets. How cool is that? Bai Xiaoan was a bit taken aback when he found out about the function of the mythical beast space. The main character understands that, in most cases, regular creatures in the Imperial space can have some pretty impressive side effects. His space for controlling beasts ended up having 3 unexpected side effects. And let me tell you, the mythical beast controlling space is absolutely mind-blowing. Regarding the 3 side effects in question, one side effect is that it speeds up the growth time of pets. This side effect is really great for Xian. So, in the orc world, there's this rule that says the longer the growth circle, the greater the potential. He's aware that lots of beast masters get tired before the spirit beast can fully unleash their power. But in his own little world, those amazing creatures with so much potential will grow up in no time. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool that Bai Xian's beast guarding space can get rid of negative effects. So, if his pet beast is recruited, he can just reclaim the beast guarding space and then let it out again, all lively and jumping. This is just the worst thing for those beloved pets. If you know how to make the most of it, this side effect can actually be quite beneficial. speed up the pet growth process, and eliminate any drawbacks associated with pets. These two mythical beast-based side effects may be very beneficial to Bai Xian. However, according to Bai Xian, the third side effect is really astounding. It's conceivable that it will bring forth hidden abilities in pets. Xian was thinking about how such side effects will make him the youngest and most powerful genius beast master ever. That's all for now. Hello, this is the Dragon King. First and foremost, I want to express my gratitude to the individual who suggested this incredible manhwa to me. If you enjoy this video, please show your support by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing for future content.